Good morning, everyone, and happy Tuesday. Welcome. I'm glad you're here today tuning in for our live. I'm excited for the release today, and I've got Whitney here with me. Woo! We are going to talk about what we have coming your way today, and then we get to do some crafty time together. I'm excited about the project I made today. I really just had fun playing. When you don't have a lot of things you have to use, it's fun to kind of just play with your supplies and see what comes out. So I kind of knew what I wanted to do, and then how it came out was fun to explore. So I'm excited to share that with you guys today. Let's see who's joining us. A couple shout outs. Hi, Rachel. Good morning. We have Jean here today, and Lisa. Hi, Vicki and Sally. I'm glad you guys are joining us, and for those of you that are watching on replay, welcome. Feel free to leave comments as well. I always love to go back and read and see who is joining in. So, all right, today is our second chance release. All of the new products for our second chance release launched at 9 a.m. Central Time this morning. And for those of you who are participating in our virtual Stamp Joy event coming up in about a month, a little less than a month, you had your supply order discount period starting this morning as well. So you should have received that coupon code via email and the Facebook group if you are participating in that event. So what is second chance? We all love second chances, right? Sometimes we mess up and we forget to buy that thing or earn that thing that we really wanted, and now we want a chance to grab it. And so that's what we mean by second chance. All of the items in this, well, not all, but the items in this release, many of them were previously offered as a freebie that you could earn with a purchase of $100 or more. Sometimes we have different tiers that you earn with a pre-order of an item. And then later on, we choose to bring out some of those products, and we design products that coordinate with them. So even if you have some of these products already in your collection, you may want to pay special attention because you might want the add-on to make your item even more versatile, the die to cut it out, another bloom to make a different flower, all of those kind of things. You can find all of the second chance products in our second chance release category. I'm going to pop the graphic up here on the screen so you know about the promotion that we have going today and the rest of this week. So when you purchase 5 or more items from our second chance category, you will get 10% off. So the more items you add to your cart, you're going to get 10% off all of those once you hit that 5 or more items from that category. And this is in addition to your 10% discount if you are using the coupon code for Virtual Stamp Joy. Let me also talk about this really quick. We are in our Combo Club kind of registration period. So if you've heard about Combo Club, we launched last week, and this is a special combo of products that is shipped directly to your doorstep every month for 3 or 6 months. You get to choose between those two options, and you can find more information on the website, and we are only opening the Combo Club registration for 1 more week. So if you want to get in on that, just know you only have 1 more week to do that.
Join us! It's so much fun!
Whitney and I go live every month for Combo Club to introduce the products and the supersize items that you can add on if you choose. So it's a fun time. And speaking of fun times, Whitney and I are going to be live this Thursday night for Galentine's Day. It is at 7 p.m. Central Time. We're going to have snacks and prizes. We're going to craft together to make a really fun felt garland for your craft space. I love to decorate my craft space. Obviously, you can guess this is going to be in a rainbow array of colors. And I am super excited to share that with you guys and just have some fun together, give some things away, get together with all of our gal pals who also love to be crafty. So join us on Thursday evening at 7. All right, I'm going to come back then and we are going to get started. I'm going to show you the crafty project that we're going to make today. So let's pull this in and give you a look at today's project. Isn't this fun? I decided I wanted to use, so this is really where my project started, with an insider. It says, "We'll survive this, chocolate first." And I think that is something I would love to send to a friend who's maybe going through a little tough time. You want to say, hey, I'm here for you. And maybe you also share the love of chocolate. So I really took these chocolate factory dies that were released for Valentine's Day, and I wanted to make them more friendship appropriate. So in order to do that, you guessed it, I dressed them up with a rainbow array of sprinkles on top, put them in a cute little pink box. It is covered with acetate, so it actually looks like, in real life, it looks like a little chocolate box that you can see into. And then we're going to create the inside with foiling, add a couple more of the little chocolates on the inside, and this card is super fun and actually not too tough to create. So, are we ready? Yes! I love it that April is asking, how do we participate in the snacks part of the Galentine's Day event? Well, you're going to have to provide your own snacks in your own home, but we will have some fun recipes to share for Galentine's Day snacks and drinks. You can try those at a later time if you want. I will be taste testing during the event and telling you how yummy they are. So the snacks might happen later for you, but there will be snacks. So, all right, let's get started by creating the box for our chocolates. And when I had these little chocolates, I knew I wanted a box to put them in, but I wasn't sure what we had in our collection, and I went searching. What I found was this all planned out 2 die set. And these all planned out sets are designed as a layout already created for you. This particular one has this outer scalloped frame that fits perfectly on your A2 card, which is what I used for the outside of the box. Now this inner piece, this is what's going to create our box of chocolates. This cuts out these rectangles into a piece of cardstock. So in order to cut this out of the brown cardstock, I need to cut an A2 piece first, and I am using the A2 layer Stacklets to do that. So I have A2 layer Stacklets, and this is the 4th largest of those pieces. And the reason why I chose it is because this piece fits perfectly inside here and is going to give me enough of a border to be able to pop up that chocolate box so that when we put the acetate over it, it gives it more dimension and looks like an actual box. So this is going to be cut first out of cinnamon cardstock. I'm going to bring in my die cut machine here. We'll set this die aside just so we have it. And we're going to cut this first, this solid shape out of cinnamon cardstock. And cinnamon is a great color for chocolate. So if you're looking for those perfect chocolate colors, I used cinnamon, hot fudge, and mocha for my chocolates and chocolate wrappers. This is more of your, you know, that would have been a good color name. Instead of cinnamon, it could have been milk chocolate, because it really does look like milk chocolate, where the hot fudge looks more like your dark chocolate. Okay, so now we have that solid shape. Let's take that inner piece that I set aside here, and we're going to center that onto, you could probably get away with nesting them together and cutting them at the same time, but sometimes I feel like I get a little bit more, I guess just, I feel a little more comfortable. I can see a little bit better when I'm lining that up to cut, that I have it perfectly aligned all the way around the outside. Okay. Looks like some of you are getting your virtual Stamp Joy packages today. That's exciting. Those have all been shipped out. I got confirmation yesterday from our shipping team that all the packages are on their way to you guys. Okay, so now you can see that this die cuts out the rectangles from that solid shape that we cut first, leaving us with a border that we can use with foam tape to pop this up. Now I have a piece of acetate that I've cut to fit behind this box, just like this. And I'm going to attach it with just regular tape runner. And I like to do it with tape runner as opposed to liquid glue, just because tape runner doesn't squirt out if you accidentally get too much on it. And I don't want to lose my acetate. That is something that happens easily when you're crafting with something clear, and it's easy to lose it on your desktop. So we're going to go ahead and attach this and then set this piece aside while we build our chocolate pieces. Just get this right up in the corner. Follow it down the side. There we go. Perfect. There it is. Okay, so that's the top for our box of chocolates. And now let's go ahead and, should we make some chocolates?
Yes.
Okay.
These are my favorite kinds of chocolates. 0 calories.
Yeah, these are your 0 cal chocolates. Yep.
I'm trying to say no to all the things right now, but I can't.
It's
hard.
It is hard, and Valentine's Day is a fun time to eat candy. Actually,
Yes.
whoever the candy companies are, have turned every holiday into a fun time to eat candy.
Yes.
So yeah. All right, so as I mentioned, I have cinnamon, mocha, and hot fudge cardstocks. I'm going to cut the wrappers out of hot fudge. I've already done a few of these ahead of time, so you don't have to watch me cut and sprinkle 6 pieces of chocolate. So I'm going to just do a couple of them here. And then I think I forgot about the one on the inside. So let's see if we can do a couple for the inside here. Actually, I don't think I have enough cardstock for that. So we'll just do the 2 here. And then the wrappers are the jagged edge pieces. And then the inner pieces that fit inside of them are just the plain rectangles and hearts and circles. Okay, so we'll cut out our chocolate pieces. Oh, Marcy's anniversary is on Valentine's Day. That's awesome. Happy anniversary, and I hope you get a chance to make a chocolate box card for your significant other. Okay. All right, now let's go ahead and adhere these together. We'll put the heart inside the heart wrapper and the little rounded chocolate. I want to know, what's everybody's favorite chocolate in the chocolate box? What do you search for?
Caramel.
Whitney says the caramel.
Oh, I love it. Or anything with like almonds or crushed.
Ooh, like
pecans.
toffee pieces or...
I like toffee too. Basically the whole box minus the cherries.
Yeah, I'm not a big cherry goo fan. Or anything, I don't drink coffee, so if I bite into one and it's like coffee tasting, that is an absolute no for me. So, oh, Jane says she looks for the coconut ones. Do love the coconut ones for sure. Okay, let's pull this in, and you might remember last week when I told you all that Sarah, who works here in our product development department, she helps me prepare for the lives, and I called her the MVP of the live last week because she set out all of my gems facing up so that I could easily pull them out. Well, she's done it again, folks. Let me show you. She's got all of my rainbow sprinkles turned the right side up so that we can fly through these, sprinkling our little chocolates today. I've got my glue press, and I'm going to go ahead and just kind of dot my chocolates with glue. And, you know, I don't really have a huge rhyme or reason. I actually try to put some dots a little closer to each other than others. I'll get in here so you can see a little bit better. All right, then we're going to use the pick and place tool to pick up all of our sprinkles. The sprinkles were die cut from the same set as the chocolates. So there's a little die in there that cuts out all of these little sprinkles. So then once you have all of your sprinkles cut out, you can go to town sprinkling your chocolates. Now this is one thing that I wanted to show you guys. I have incorporated this. This was Barb's idea from last week when we talked about putting a gem on the end of your pick and place tool where the little wax tip is. So you always know which end is the wax tip. I thought that was genius. One of those things that why didn't I think of that? Instead, I like to torture myself and seemingly pull off the wrong end every time I need to use it. So if you think that would be helpful, I just used actually a little bit of crystal glaze to adhere the gem on the end, and it worked great. Let it dry for a little bit. Okay. All right, there we have one chocolate. Then we'll go ahead and dot our little heart chocolate here with some more sprinkle pieces. And this glue does dry clear, so I'm not too worried if I have a little bit of the white glue showing through right now. Once it dries, it will go away. I feel like a chocolatier. Okay.
In my head, I'm making sound effects as you're doing this. Boop.
Boop.
Bop. I just realized I do that in my own head.
Looks like lots of you also did the gem on the end as well. So, okay. I'm going to bring in the other chocolates. Like I said, I created these ahead of time to kind of speed the process along for this project. So there we have all of my chocolates. I'll back out here as we get back to creating the card itself. So we are going to place this over the top here. And it looks like I got just a little bit of dustiness on the back of my acetate when I set it on the table. See if I can get that off. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to arrange the chocolates then and just kind of slip them underneath here and get them all in position before we glue them down. It's a little tricky here to do this, but it is worth it to find the right spot for all the chocolates. Okay. So I like to start with one opening here and glue those chocolates in place, and then I'll move around to the others. Get my glue press ready. Grab this piece of chocolate. I'm going to leave this one in place so that I know when I put this one down that it's going to be in the right spot, kind of centered in that opening. Looks good. Now we'll pull this one out and put our adhesive down. I That's what I love about using liquid glue as well, is that you have that little time to kind of wiggle it around before it stays where it needs to be. So we've got one little section completed. Now I'm going to turn it around because it's a little easier for me to do the gluing with my right hand and holding this up with my other hand. So we'll put this, take these little guys out here. Okay. This is a thinking task. I feel myself not speaking because I'm concentrating. Okay, let's put this guy down and then we'll move it around till I get it centered in there. Okay, still looking good there. And we'll add a little bit of adhesive again. Put our other one in. Looks good. Okay, now let's finish up the top layer here. We've got a heart on the left and the rectangle on the right. Hey Whitney, do you think you could grab me an alcohol wipe? One of those little tiny guys? I was just going to show this to everyone because it looks like I did get just a little tiny bit of glue on the piece of acetate. So once I get these glued down, I'll show you my little alcohol wipe trick. And if you guys don't have alcohol wipes at home, you'll be running out to get them. I pull these out all the time just for little mess ups, little cleanups. I use them to clean my scissors if I feel like they're getting kind of gunky. Okay. Looks good. Now let's put our last bit of adhesive over here. And slide this under. Okay. There we go. We have our box of chocolates. Now we are going to take our little alcohol wipe, just an alcohol prep pad that they use a lot for sterilizing, you know, before you get shots and such, but works great for cleanup of your scissor blades. And then I have a little bit of adhesive on the back of my acetate here, and I can just rub that off. It's going to dry quickly, wave it around, and then it's all cleaned up. I do see a suggestion out there that would be a good one. Somebody said if you don't adhere your acetate to the back, you could use this piece as a template in order to kind of adhere your pieces within the openings. They do kind of have to tuck under in some places because the openings aren't quite big enough for both of the chocolates to fit, but that would be a good option if you just kind of tacked this lightly to your surface without the acetate attached, and then you could put your pieces in without having to kind of do what I did and pull this up and tuck them underneath. Okay, so let's go ahead then and adhere the top of our box of chocolates. I'm going to take the outer piece and use our foam sticky strips to go around the outer edge. I won't be able to add these foam strips to these middle pieces. They're not quite thick enough, but this is going to give plenty of stability just putting this around the outside. Save those extra pieces. You never know when they're going to come in handy. Keep building this up around the outer edge. Use one of those little guys up in the corner here. Okay. These foam sticky strips make everything so easy. They're easy to pull the backing paper off. They give you a nice dimension, especially for interactive cards. And they are pre-cut into these thin strips. All right. So I'm going to give my acetate one more puff so that I can get any of the little pieces of paper off that have stuck to my acetate. It is staticky, that acetate. Okay. There we go, our box of chocolates. It would be fun if you wanted to put even some sprinkles in there, so you've got like a shaker as well. You could do that. That would be fun. Okay, so let's finish this box of chocolates off with a bow then. I am using the die set from our collection that's called Take a Bow. Now these look kind of funny when they are cut flat because they're meant to be a dimensional bow. So you can see the bow on here, how it folds together to create something more dimensional. So I've cut the piece out here from this Bubblegum cardstock. I've got a couple of pieces here that are going to fit on the sides. And then we're going to make our bow. So I am going to grab this tool again. This doubles as sort of a cardstock loosener. It loosens and curls your cardstock. If you just hold your thumb against it, you can also use a pencil to do this, sort of pinching the cardstock between the tool and your finger and sort of stretching it and curling it at the same time. That's going to keep your bow from having that really kind of crease in it from folding our cardstock, because it is a 100-pound cardstock, so it's thick, and this is just going to loosen some of those fibers to make your bow not have as much of a crease to it. So we're going to curl the edges here first. And then I'll use some adhesive. You could use a glue dot. I'm just going to use a little bit of tape runner, something just right in the middle of this bow. And then we'll take these little tabs and kind of fold them towards the center and meet them up halfway. Just like that. Now, if your adhesive doesn't feel strong enough, you could always use a little bit of liquid glue as well. Whitney, could you grab me a bitty blender brush for dragon fruit?
Absolutely.
Thank you. All right, so we have our little bow that's going to fit then right on here. I'm going to do a little bit of blending on that bow just to give it some more dimension, and we'll add an enamel dot as well. I have my dragon fruit enamel dots here, and I'm going to use my dragon fruit ink on the Bubblegum cardstock just to highlight the center of the bow a little bit. You can do this when it's not been folded up, but this kind of helped me keep my blending into the center here because I wanted to get that dimension sort of going from the middle and out onto the edges. All right. We'll use the other end of the pick and place tool, the one without the gem on it, to pick up the largest of the enamel dots. They are adhesive on the back, so you can just stick them right to the little pokey end of the tool and then use that to position the enamel dot where you want it, and then pull the tool out and press the dot in place. I'm going to hold that down so it sticks, has a chance to stay there. And then I'm going to adhere these to the front. It's supposed to look like a bow that's kind of tied across the box, like a box of chocolates would. Just trim the sides off here.
I'm like, I can do this!
You can make a box of chocolates.
I know. Now I might have to find time today.
Oh, I should find, actually, this will now be my second box of chocolates. I think this could even go for Valentine's Day, because, you know, that's coming up, and I haven't made John's Valentine's Day card yet, so.
And he doesn't like chocolates.
That's true. My husband does not like chocolate, so maybe this is not the appropriate card to send to him.
Which is honestly,
or to give to him.
Even more funny if you gave it to him like, these chocolates you don't have to eat.
Yes. It's funny. All right, we'll do some liquid glue on the back of this and then tack it down. You do have to hold it in place for a little bit until that glue stays, and otherwise it will pop up just because of the dimension on the sides of the bow here. All right, there's our cute little box of chocolates. Now we have a, oh, did it just totally pop off? I didn't even see that. Normally I would probably stay here and hold it a little bit longer. Let's see if I can get it to take. I might have to send it to Whitney so you guys don't have to watch me
Hold it.
Press this down until the glue starts sticking. I think maybe I did it. Sometimes counting to 10 is the hardest thing. It's like you just want to move right on, but 10 seconds. All right, there it is. Hopefully that bow doesn't pop off again. We're going to set this aside to dry a little bit while we create our sentiments. So the sentiments, which were a big part of the reason I wanted to make this card, I showed you that Insiders pack. I'm going to bring it on screen here so you can take a look at why we designed that Insiders. And it's called the Insiders Friendship 2. And the sentiments or the insiders in here might seem a little random, but they were designed to go with a stamp. This was our free with $100 purchase in August, and now it's being made available through our second chance. And the insiders here were designed to be kind of an outside-inside combo. So you could say, let's see if I can find one. Reminder, you're amazing. Couldn't do this life thing without you. Then you've got, what's another good one? Hot Mess Express, no breaks. And then you've got all aboard. And lucky me to have a friend like you. Life is better when you find someone who matches your weird. So I love that. I decided to use, you can always count on me, we'll survive this chocolate first. So I thought that went together. You could also say endless snacks, zero judgment. We'll survive this chocolate first. Or life's a mess. I brought snacks. We'll survive this. So you get the idea. These two are designed to go together. This new product is called the Insiders Friendship 2, and it goes with Simple Strips Friendship 2. So we're going to stamp this. It's been a while since I've stamped an entire Simple Strips. You might recall, if you've been with Tailored Expressions for long, this was one of our biggest products that we've ever introduced into the crafty world. Simple Strips took the world by storm, and this was kind of the first iteration of a stamp that allowed you to cut multiple things at once with the alignment squares to make sure that you're cutting them perfectly. We have a lot of these, maybe 20 different Simple Strips, and they all cut out with the same dies. So we have a regular Simple Strips die that cuts a flat edge on the side. We have a flagged edge, and now that's available starting today, we have our scalloped edge. So this has a sweet tiny little scallop on the edge of each of these strips. So let's go ahead and grab the Misty. I need a Misty. Thank you, Whitney. So we'll grab our Misty to stamp the Simple Strips here. And I'm going to do that and emboss it with some clear embossing powder using the VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. And the other product I wanted to show you today is something that is very useful if you're doing a lot of Simple Strips stamping. If you have stamped these before, then you know these are a little bit larger than your regular quarter sheet of cardstock. So we have what we call Simple Strip stacks, and they come in a couple different colors. I believe we have Sugar Cube and Toffee. We might also have Oreo, but this is pre-cut for you so that you don't have to waste your extra paper by cutting it in a quarter and not quite covering it. So these are designed to fully cover your stamp image, and you get 20 sheets in a pack, so you can be stamping Simple Strips for a while. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that stamp on the Misty here. And then I'll put a little bit of adhesive down in the bottom, remove the magnet, and we'll place our cardstock on this side over the top of the stamp so we can see that everything is completely covered, closing that back lid, picking it up, and then we know that the stamp is going to stamp exactly where our cardstock is. I'll powder that with our powder tool. This is going to remove any excess, like if you have residue on your cardstock, maybe from the oils in your finger from touching the cardstock. This is an anti-static tool that removes that and allows the embossing powder then to only stick to the areas where you've stamped your sentiment or images. You'll see us use it every time we emboss. You can see I got a little bit of ink on the edges here. If that ends up stamping onto the cardstock, it's not going to matter because we're going to cut these out with the coordinating die anyway. I'm going to get a little bit more pressure in the center there. That looks good. Now I stamped it with the VersaFine Clair Nocturne, and it stays wet a little longer because it's a pigment ink. So I'm going to be able to emboss this with clear embossing powder, which is going to give me beautifully embossed black sentiments without having to use a black embossing powder. Okay. Just tap off the excess, and I'll funnel that back in before we go ahead and heat this. I'll take my mini mitts here, also good for snacking, but for now they're going to keep my fingers from getting burned by my heat tool. I also love clear embossing powder because it's really easy to see when it turns to that glossy black color then. There we go. We'll let that kind of set for, it only takes maybe 5 seconds before you can touch it. But if you've ever touched it too early, you know that it does rub off. If it's still too hot and not completely set, then it will rub off of the cardstock. So you just got to give it 5 seconds or so. Now I'm going to bring in that die, the one with the little scalloped edges, and we're going to use those alignment squares to line this up and tack it down. Just making sure. You can use the alignment squares and also just your visual cues because you can see the sentiments through the openings in the die. I like to kind of turn it just slightly so that when we send it through our machine, it doesn't make that snap, crackle, pop sound quite as badly as when you send it through completely parallel to the rollers of your machine. So try to angle it just slightly. There's the one we want. It knew it. It popped right out, but let me go ahead and pop the rest of these out. And then you'll see you've got a whole bunch of sentiments. And I know this is maybe what some of you are thinking. What do I do with all these? If I'm only using this one, what do I do with the rest of these 17 sentiments? I think there's 18 sentiments total in each of our simple strips. Well, I have a solution for you. We have our simple strip storage containers, and they include 2 layers of storage for these strips that fit just perfectly in there. One of our simple strips will fit in one container of this of the simple storage containers. So I believe you can fit 9 on top and 10 on the bottom, something like that. I'm not counting exactly right now, but then these just close up. And, you know, I know people who have gone through and stamped these on, you know, toffee and sugar cube and Oreo, and then you have a set of each one so that when you go to make a project, you can pick from any number of sentiments that are already prepared for you. Okay, you can always count on me, and I think we can finish up the front of our card then with that sentiment. While I'm doing that, I'm going to turn my mini mink on to get it heated up here, because we're going to finish off the inside of the card, which has some fun happening as well. Okay, here's our little chocolate box. Go ahead and put some adhesive on the back of that. Center it on the Bubblegum card base. Press that into place. And then this, because this is already popped up with dimension, I'm just going to adhere this straight down to the top of the box. Just like that. So cute, right? All right, so let's bring in the mini mink here, and we're gonna go ahead and foil the coordinating sentiment. The great thing about our insiders is that you can foil them, but if you don't have a machine for heat foiling like the mink, you don't have to foil them. They're just a really nice and convenient way to add a sentiment to the inside of your card without a whole lot of work. So here's the Will Survive This chocolate first. I've set this on a 3. I have my my 6x6 carrier folder and my foil magic shim. And then I'm using Dragon Fruit TE Fun Foil. Looks like this, comes in a roll. I just cut a little bit off of the roll, and we want to make sure that that foil is pretty side up and entirely covers the sentiment. Pop that into the carrier folder, and then I'll send it through the machine with that folded edge going in first. Make sure that you're holding both ends of it as you let the machine grab it from your hand, and that just helps make sure that it's going in straight. You don't have to raise your hand in the comments, but if you've ever put it in crooked, you know what happens. So it's not a pretty sight. It gets jammed in the machine, and yeah. So just make sure you get it in there straight. Susan's asking if there will be a Friendship 2 label for the storage box. Unfortunately, we are not going to make those labels any longer like we used to. They just required some really high order quantities on those. So we're looking for maybe a different way to offer something that might look a little different than what we've done in the past. But you can always label them. We've started labeling ours just with our, what do you call it? Like the Brother P-Touch labeler machine. I love that little thing. Okay, another question about whether the new Mini Mink will be coming in soon. I hope so. Everybody just cross your fingers, because it's not a product that we make, and so we've been hearing that yes, it's coming back soon, but unfortunately I don't have an exact date, probably until it just shows up here for us. So I think the last time I said was maybe towards the end of February, beginning of March. So we've got a few more weeks before we check in and see if there's any more information. All right, here we go. I've let it cool down, and I'm going to peel that foil off and reveal the foiled sentiment that coordinates perfectly then with the cardstock colors on the front of the card. I wanted to add even a little bit more to the inside of this. So I have my stitched rectangle stacklets. This is another one, or what do we call these? Diagonal stitch rectangle stacklets. And these actually don't cut any shape out. They put diagonal stitches into the cardstock. So you just arrange them as a frame around the outside, and they are incrementally sized at A2, so this is going to fit nicely right inside our A2 layer. And then we've got, pop this out. And we've got just a little extra detail for the inside. I'll go ahead and adhere this in. I'm looking at the time thinking I did pretty good for this whole chocolate box card today. I think I've got a little bit of time to finish up the last two chocolates here, especially since Sarah has already laid out my sprinkles for me. That went a lot faster than had I been doing it myself. So I'm going to grab these chocolates that I've already got cut here, and we'll glue these together. Try to decide if I want one or two chocolates on the inside. I think maybe just one heart would be cute too. One little heart or two little chocolates. I like to overlap them just a little bit. I think I like two, right? One of these times it would be fun to have a card making event where I have choices and then the audience gets to choose. Wouldn't that be fun? Like, you guys leave comments to decide on different things as the project moves on. That would be kind of fun, right?
Let's do that.
Okay.
Next week. No, I'm just kidding.
We'd have to decide, you know, there's not really, maybe you have a poll feature on the live that you could kind of gauge, because I don't know how you would count how many people said this and which answer was actually more popular, especially if you don't want to wait for the counting to happen. All right, closing in here on a super cute, fun card. One chocolate, and I gotta try to remember to make my sprinkles look more random, like I have them in different directions, like they sort of just they fell on there instead of were individually placed. All right. And this little spot here without one is going to bother me, so I got to put one more here. Okay. Then we're going to take and we'll put a little bit of adhesive on the back here, and we'll put a few chocolates on the inside as well. One. And overlap this guy just a touch. Two. Cute, cute. A progressive card challenge with the design team would be fun. That's a good idea, Kristen. So one person finishes one part and then the next person has to take it to the next step, etc. That would be fun. Maybe we should do that, like send it through the mail.
Yes!
And then we could post the finished card. So that's a fun idea. All right, well, there is your little box of chocolates, and we're going to survive this, friends. Chocolate first. All right, let me come back to you and give you a little heads up about what's happening the rest of this week. So Thursday, Whitney, you're going to have to remind me again. Who's live this Thursday? Is it Susan? Yeah. No? Is it Sue?
No. Is it? It's Sue!
It's Sue! Okay. I was like, Heather was last week, so Sue is going to be live this Thursday at 10 a.m. Central Time, so tune in to see what fun she is creating. Ooh, and actually, I've seen it.
Yes.
It is super fun. Actually, if you watched our release reveal video, I gave a sneak peek at what she was going to be making on Thursday. So tune in for Sue's live. And then, of course, Galentine's Day event on Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Central Time. That is free, available for anyone and everyone to join us. So send that little link to your friends as well. I know there's a link out on our YouTube page. You can click that and you can say that you're coming. You can send it to friends. It's going to be just a fun time and an opportunity to win some prizes and maybe learn something new, just hang out and laugh and have fun. So, all right, then Whitney and I will be back with a release reveal on Saturday. That happens on our Fans of Tailored Expressions page and on our YouTube channel. You can find that video to see the earliest peek at what's coming the next week, Tuesday. And then, of course, I'll be back on Tuesday. All right, everybody, have a